Love doesn't die in a single day. It fades, one unanswered call, one late night, one hidden text at a time. Richard never planned to lose Amara. But betrayal has a way of rewriting every forever. And when the truth finally spoke, it didn't whisper, it screamed. They say a man can cheat and still claim to love his wife, but what they never tell you is the cost, the sleepless nights, the guilt, and the curse that follows. This is not just another story of infidelity. This is the story of Richard and Amara, a couple whose love was once a home, until lies turned it into a graveyard of secrets. Amara was the kind of woman every man prayed for, gentle, loyal, and deeply devoted. Richard, her husband, was charming, successful, the kind of man who smiled in public and lied in private. Amara said, "Don't be late for dinner tonight, okay? I'm making your favorite pepper soup." Richard replied, "You know I can never say no to that. I'll be home early, I promise." That message was the beginning of everything. Clara wasn't new. She'd been Richard's secretary for 2 years, ambitious, young, and dangerously seductive. Clara said to Richard, "Your wife must be wondering where you vanish every evening." Richard replied, "I told her I'm working overtime. And technically, I am." Weeks turned into months. Richard's lies grew deeper, his excuses sharper. Amara noticed the change: the cold kisses, the hidden phone, the late nights. Amara whispers, "You said you'd be home early," but Richard didn't answer her. He walked into the room and took his shower and lay in bed. In the early hours of the morning, while Amara was trying to tidy up the room, and Richard was in the bathroom, his phone beeped, and you won't believe who message. They say curiosity kills the cat, but sometimes, it saves the brokenhearted. She picked up his phone and saw a message from the name mechanic with love emoji. The message read, "Can't wait for tonight's red heart." She scrolls. Finds months of messages, pictures of themselves together. In that moment, her heart shattered, not from the betrayal, but from the realization that love had become her own prison. Amara's voice trembled. She didn't know what to do anymore. She just stood there speechless. She put the phone down gently, tears streaming. Amara whispered, "You've been lying to me." Amara waits calmly. Richard enters, smiling. Richard said, "Wow, you really went all out tonight. What's the occasion?" Amara replied softly, "Oh, just wanted to celebrate honesty." Richard pauses, confused. Amara asked Richard, "Tell me, Richard, do you still remember what honesty tastes like?" Richard with his nervous laugh. "What are you talking about?" She slides his phone across the table. He freezes. Amara looked calm but cold. She said, "You left it unlocked. Your mechanic says he can't wait for tonight. Tell me, Richard, is tonight his birthday, or mine?" At that point it seems the clock was slow. Richard stammered and replied, "Amara, I can explain." Amara immediately cut him off. "Don't bother. I've already had enough. Every day I love you, every, I'm working late. All lies." She stands, tears but firm tone said, "You didn't just cheat on me, Richard. You buried the man I thought I married." She walks away. He slams the table in frustration. Richard yelled, "You can't just walk out." Amara turned to look at him, her voice steady, said, "Watch me." She slams the door. Richard started drinking alone. Lived in empty house. Bills unpaid. Clara avoiding his calls. When Amara left, Richard's world collapsed quietly. Clara disappeared, the company fired him, and the house became a graveyard of his own guilt. Richard with a breaking voice. "Amara, I didn't mean to lose you." He picks up his phone, dials her number, but it was not reachable. He tried calling, texting, begging, but Amara had vanished. Gone to a place where healing was louder than his apologies. Amara traveled to another city. She started working in a flower shop. She was happy again. Amara found peace where pain once lived. She rebuilt herself, piece by piece, petal by petal. And Richard. He finally understood the cause of betrayal, that every lie told is a debt that must be paid, one lonely night at a time. It was on a rainy night that Karma came to collect, when Richard drove recklessly. He saw a figure crossing the street, a woman with an umbrella. He swerves, and crashes into a pole. He was rushed to the hospital. Richard woke up, bruised. A nurse walks in. It's Amara. Richard replied weakly. Amara. Is it really you? Amara with a soft smile. Yes. I work here now. You're lucky to be alive. Richard replied. I never stopped loving you. Amara was quiet and then said. Love isn't enough, Richard. Not after what you did. She turns to leave, and Richard asked for forgiveness, but she said that she already forgave him, and that is why she can walk away without looking back. Richard broke down in tears. Some men lose their wives. Others lose themselves. But the greatest loss is the woman who loved you despite your flaws, until your lies made her forget why she ever did. Betrayal isn't always from an outsider, but it is done by the closest person to you. Don't just love, but seek God directions. Like, subscribe, and share.